We were invited to a beach house by another couple, his longtime friends. But when there was only one bed, I realized this wasn't just a weekend getaway. That night, my husband, his friends Julia and Nick, focused on nothing but me. Before we begin, if you're a regular here and enjoy these stories, take a second to like and subscribe. It's the simplest way to support me. And trust me, it goes a long way. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. His hands rested on my hips, matching my pace as I steadied myself against his chest. My breath caught every time I said his name, my voice rising slightly with each repetition. The headboard bumped gently against the wall, the sheets loose beneath my knees, sunlight stretching across the room. He looked up at me, a grin tugging at the corner of his mouth. "You always start in control," he said, "but I like seeing this side of you." "Stay right there," he added, his voice low and calm. I paused for just a moment and he smiled again. He stayed close, keeping our pace steady and deliberate. I leaned in one final time, watching the tension in his expression shift. Then I lowered my head and rested against him. Still and quiet, we stayed there. Breathing in sync, one of his hands traced gentle circles across my back. "You know, you're still every man's dream," he murmured. I smiled. "Now you're just flattering me." "I'm serious," he said. You walk into a room and everyone notices men. Women, all of them. I tilted my head, slightly curious. "What are you getting at?" He didn't answer. He just smiled. "I've planned something for us this weekend." "What kind of something?" He grinned. "You'll see, pack something light, and maybe something you don't mind wearing in front of other people." I raised an eyebrow. "That's all you're giving me?" He chuckled, then gave my thigh a light tap before pulling me back into his arms. "Don't think about it now," he said. "Just focus on me." We arrived the next afternoon. The sun was high, the breeze warm, and the villa looked even better than the pictures. Modern lines, tall windows, and a wraparound deck that opened straight to the beach. Nick and Julia were already out front, waving before we even pulled into the driveway. I waved back, smiling. We hadn't seen them in months, but from the way they rushed over, you'd think we were family. Julia hugged me tight longer than usual. "You look incredible," she said, pressing her cheek to mine. "Seriously, you're glowing." Nick smiled at me like he agreed. We've been counting down the days. Inside, everything was already set. Wine poured snacks out, music playing low through the open living room. The air smelled like citrus and sunscreen. "Go ahead and drop your bags," Julia said, handing me a glass. "Room's all set up." I headed down the hall expecting to see 2 doors open. But only one was one room. One bed, fluffed pillows. Fresh sheets, no second room made up. Just that one. I turned back. "Wait, just this one." Julia leaned against the doorframe, sipping her wine with a smile. Of course, we figured we can all share. I didn't answer her. I just stood there holding my bag. Wine in hand, Julia didn't wait for a response. She smiled, turned, and disappeared down the hallway, like she hadn't said anything unusual at all. I followed a few seconds later. Walking slower this time, the house felt different now. Warmer, quieter, like something had shifted. I found him by the back windows, drink in hand, staring out at the water. "You said you had a surprise," I said. "Was that it?" He didn't look away. "Part of it." "I waited. You planned this." He nodded. "We've talked about it before." They were curious, I was too. "And I thought maybe you'd be open to it." With no warning, I didn't want to pressure you. He said, "I just wanted to see how you'd feel once you were here." I stared at him, not sure whether I was more annoyed or intrigued. "And if I hated the idea?" "Then nothing happens," he said. Finally meeting my eyes, we unpack. Have dinner, enjoy the weekend like always. Before I could respond, I heard the soft clink of a glass behind me. Julia stood in the doorway again, barefoot, relaxed eyes on me. "Hey," she said gently. "You okay?" I gave a small nod. though I didn't feel entirely sure. She stepped into the room like she'd done it 100 times. "I know it's unexpected," she said, "but it doesn't have to be anything you don't want." I didn't reply. I just watched her. She moved a little closer, her perfume mixing softly with the citrus in the air. Her fingers lightly touched mine before trailing up my arm. "You should know," she added, voice softer. "Now we've noticed you for a long time." My breath caught not from shock, but from the way she said it, like it was a compliment. "You don't have to do anything," she said, eyes steady on mine. "But I'd like it if you did." Then she reached up and tucked a loose strand of hair behind my ear and kissed me. She didn't ask. She just took my hand, fingers lacing through mine, and LED'd me down the hallway with quiet certainty. Behind us, I heard the slow, even steps of my husband following. Inside the bedroom, the air felt different. Warme Stille. Like it was waiting, she turned to me, calm and steady, and kissed me again. This time it was slower, longer. Her mouth brushed mine in a way that softened everything around us. I felt the edge of the bed pressed gently behind my legs, as she moved me back, still close. Still sure, then I sensed him. My husband stepped in behind me. His breath touched my neck, his presence grounding me. One hand moved up my side. Hers shifted slightly lower. Together they eased the fabric from my body quietly, gently, until I felt the air settle across my skin. They didn't rush. Their hands moved with quiet intention, their touches blending together in perfect rhythm. It wasn't about speed, it was about attention. They guided me down to the bed like I was something precious. She leaned in first, her hands gliding along my sides, her lips brushing over my skin in slow, thoughtful passes. I tensed, then exhaled, feeling her take her time. There was no hurry in how she moved. Only patience, only focus. I held the sheets closed, my eyes. Let myself feel the bed shifted again. He was beside me, my husband. His hand touched my cheek, then turned my face toward him. His kiss was soft, familiar, anchoring. I leaned into it, letting him steady me while she continued to explore. Then came a voice starting without me. "Nick," I didn't turn toward him. I didn't need to, everything around me already felt full. My husband leaned back slightly. She paused for only a second. Then they both turned toward Nick. Something changed. My husband moved gently closer, his body aligning with mine as he held me in place. He didn't press or pull. He simply moved with me, creating quiet pressure that pulled me deeper into the moment. She climbed over me, her body folding around mine as she moved into place. Her breath caught just above me, her hand sliding behind my neck again. I looked up and she guided me forward, her skin brushing against my lips as we matched each other's rhythm. The bed shifted again. Nick was nearby now, his presence close, calm. She reached out for him instinctively, one hand resting lightly at his side. He didn't speak, he just stayed still while she leaned into him. We were surrounded, my husband holding me close beneath her, warmth pressing over me. Nick steady in front of her. I wasn't focused on any one part of it. I just let it happen, let it carry me. Every breath I took, every movement I made was shared. Then it shifted again. My husband helped me upright, easing me over his lap and keeping his hands on mine. I adjusted slowly, letting my body respond without thought. I found my balance. My breath and the rhythm came naturally from there. She leaned in again, kissing me harder now, her fingers in my hair, her breath brushing over my lips. Her mouth didn't leave mine. Then I felt Nick behind me. His hands traveled over my back, then down to my sides, slow and even. He didn't rush, he just moved with me, letting the timing settle between us, letting me feel his presence fully before continuing. They didn't push, they held me, supported me, waited until I was ready, then moved again, keeping close. Never letting go, their energy wove together around me. I could feel all of it, steady hands. Warm breath, soft mouths. I didn't know what to hold on to, so I held on to everything, and then like a tide pulling away. It crested not all at once, but in waves soft. Sure, undeniable. My breath caught, my body paused, and I let it take me. The next thing I remember is me opening my eyes to sunlight. My body felt different, looser, heavier, satisfied. And the second I moved, I knew one thing for sure: I wasn't finished. They were all still asleep. My husband lay behind me, one arm resting across my waist. Julia was curled beside me, her breath shallow, her lips slightly parted. Nick was sprawled near the foot of the bed, one leg tangled in the sheet. But I wasn't done. My thighs still tingled from the night before, but the lingering sensation only sharpened my awareness. My body didn't feel tired. It felt electric. I slipped the covers off and climbed over my husband. I didn't whisper. I didn't wait. I moved with certainty, breath catching as heat stirred beneath my skin. I didn't hold back. Every shift was deliberate. He stirred beneath me, still half asleep. But his body responded without question. His hands reached for my hips, trying to guide me, but I wasn't following. I led. The bed shifted beneath us. I leaned forward, pressing my hands flat against his chest. Heat climbed up my spine, and I kept going, relentless, focused. Then I felt it, eyes on me, Julia. Her face was flushed, her shoulder bare, chest rising slowly with each breath. She didn't speak, she just watched. I locked eyes with her. Her lips parted slightly, her gaze steady. Come here, I said, voice low and firm. She pushed herself upright. Still shaking off sleep, I reached out, took her wrist and guided her into me. Our mouths met in a kiss that was urgent and consuming. Her hand slid over my waist as she leaned closer. But I didn't slow, I kept my pace. I kept control behind me. A quiet shift to breath. Nick, he was watching too. I didn't stop. Get over here, I said without turning around. He moved quickly, no hesitation. I reached back, guided his hands over my back, my sides, my hips, teaching him my rhythm. He learned fast. Julia kissed along my jaw, her fingers tangled in my hair. My husband groaned beneath me, his hands tightening, still locked into my pace. I was surrounded, but I was steering all of it. Nick moved in close, syncing to every movement, solid and present at my back. I adjusted my stance, anchoring myself. His hands stayed firm, following my lead. No one pulled me, no one directed me. I held it together. My husband stayed beneath me. Motions aligned to mine. Julia's mouth found mine again. Deeper now, her breath breaking as I gripped her tighter. And I moved with all of them. Each motion began with me. Every reaction traced back to what I gave them. I was the axis, everything followed. Nick picked up the rhythm, building gradually. I pressed harder, my breath came fast. I grabbed the sheets to steady myself, kissed Julia until her breath melted into mine, and leaned into the tension I had created. When it finally took over, it didn't build slowly, it rushed in all at once. Overwhelming and sharp, my breath faltered. My whole body held still and then released. It pulsed through me like a storm rolling in waves, flooding every inch until my thoughts scattered, and all I could do was hold on. I collapsed forward, still trembling. My skin buzzed, chest rising and falling in short, staggered breaths. They dropped around me, breathless, quiet, undone. But I didn't. I sat up slowly. The burn still fresh beneath my skin, sweat tracing down my chest. My legs were weak, but I wasn't finished. My hunger hadn't faded. It had only grown sharper. Julia lay on her side, flushed and quiet. My husband was flat on his back, arm thrown over his eyes. Nick leaned against the headboard, his breath, shallow gaze locked on me. I looked at all of them and I smiled. Don't even think about resting, I said, voice rough and low. I'm not done with any of you. Before you leave, be honest. Do you wish you were there too? If you were, what would you be doing? Tell me in the comments, I'll be reading. And if you haven't already, Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.